Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We praise Allah and glorify Him. We send blessings and salutations to all the prophets, especially the last of them all, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and mercy of Allah be upon all of you. I'm your host, Allama Sharjeel Ahmed Khan, and you are watching the program, The Philosophy of Hajj and Qurbani. Today, we are going to talk about the types of Hajj. But before moving on, we would like to talk a little bit about Hajj itself. Hajj is one of the fundamental pillars of Islam, and it enjoys a paramount importance in Islam. Even in the Holy Quran, we find that it has been given a due importance. We have instructions regarding performing Hajj in the Holy Quran. And with that, the Prophet ﷺ has emphasized on this ibadah. And when we have a look at the form of Hajj and the dimensions of Hajj, we find that Hajj is a combination of different sorts of ibadat and acts of worship. You see salah there, you see efforts for working in the way of Allah there, you see askar there, and multiple other forms and acts of worship are there in the act of worship that is called Hajj. So when we talk about the types of Hajj, we need to understand what is the reason behind this classification of Hajj. The reason is based on different conditions of Hujjaj or pilgrims, or those who are going to perform Hajj. For example, they are living in different places, they are having different locations, whether to perform Hajj and Umrah together, the matter of offering sacrifice. So these are different conditions that serve as the reason behind classification of Hajj. Now, when we talk about the types of Hajj and the classification of Hajj, we have three types. The first one is, and the first type of Hajj is Hajjul Ifrad. And then we have Hajjul Qiran. And then we have Hajjul Tamattu. So these are the three different types of Hajj. So let's talk about these three different types one by one. First of all, we have Hajjul Ifrad. Now when we look carefully at the word itself, Ifrad, it shows isolation. So Hajjul Ifrad or isolated Hajj, what does it mean and what is the concept of Hajjul Ifrad? This is a type of Hajj in which we wear ihram for performing Hajj only, not for performing Umrah. We wear ihram for performing Hajj only. And the people who are living in Miqat, in Jeddah, in Haram, they perform Hajjul Ifrad. Another important thing that is one of the requirements, we can say the requirements in this Hajjul Ifrad is that Qurbani is not mandatory in this type of Hajj that is called Hajjul Ifrad. And you have to finish all the rites and rituals of Hajj. You will be wearing ihram and you will not exit the state of ihram until you are done with all the rites and rituals, until you are done with Rami of Jamarat or throwing stones at Jamarat. Now, when we have another type of Hajj, and that is called Hajjul Qiran. So now let's talk about this type of Hajj, which we call Hajjul Qiran. By Hajjul Qiran, we means performing Hajj in just one ihram, wearing one ihram for performing Umrah and Hajj together, right? In this type of Hajj that is called Hajjul Qiran, you perform Umrah and Hajj together in one ihram, and you do intention for performing both Umrah and Hajj in one ihram. And one of the most important thing that needs to be remembered while talking about Hajjul Qiran or understanding Hajjul Qiran is that Qurbani or offering sacrifice is mandatory in this type of Hajj that is called Hajjul Qiran, right? Then we have another type of Hajj, and that is called Hajjut Tamattu. In this type of Hajj that is called Hajjut Tamattu, what we do is that first of all we wear ihram for performing Umrah. Then we exit the state of ihram, and then for performing Hajj we re-enter with a new ihram for performing Hajj. And in this type of Hajj that is called Hajjut Tamattu, Qurbani or offering sacrifice is mandatory. So these are the classification of Hajj. These are the three types of Hajj based on the different conditions of Hujjaj or pilgrimage, based on different conditions of Hujjaj or those who are going to perform Hajj, whom we call pilgrims. Now we should also understand another important type of Hajj that is beyond these three types, and we call that Hajj, Hajjul Badal. Now what does this type of Hajj mean? It means that you are performing Hajj on behalf of someone else, right? When we perform Hajj on behalf of someone else, that is called Hajjul Badal. And this is done in different conditions. For example, the person is deceased or is suffering from any chronic disease, so then on behalf of that person Hajj Badal is performed. Now what we have learned in the light of this discussion, when we have understood well the different types of Hajj, we learn that there is a matter of ease in our religion. Based on different conditions we have different instructions. All these three types that we discuss, we see that all of them are performing Hajj. There are some differences in the conditions, but all of them are performing Hajj, and all of them will be having the reward of Hajj. And if their Hajj is accepted, then they will be having great reward in Akhirah, and they will be just like the one who is newly born and who has come to this world right now, and who has come to this world just recently. So we learn the matter of ease in Islam and the matter of yusur in Islam. In Islam, we have the teachings that are close to the nature of man, the nature of human being. And that is why we call Islam the religion of nature or Deenul Fitra. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in one of his ahadith, in one of his sayings, kullu mawludin yuladu ala fitratil Islam fa abawahu yuhawwidanihi wa yunassiranihi wa yumajjisanihi. It means that every child is born on the nature of Islam. Then his surrounding conditions, for example, if there are Jews around him or the people of other faith around him, then that reflection will be there in that child. He will follow that religion. But when he comes to this world, he is on the religion of nature, and that is Islam. And as we have discussed earlier, when we look carefully and we want to just understand the meaning of Islam, we come to know that Islam, literal meaning of Islam is surrender, and that means surrender to the will of Allah Almighty. In all the matters of our life, we believers, we surrender to the will of Allah Almighty, and it shows that we perform all the acts of worship, and we do all the good deeds just for seeking the pleasure of Allah Almighty, and we surrender to His will. There are, there might be the matters, there might be the cases, there might be the instructions in Islam. We might fail to understand the actual wisdom or the actual reason behind them, but even in that case, we have to surrender. And that surrender shows your faith, and that shows that you believe in Allah Almighty. You believe that Allah Almighty knows the best. He is the wise. He is our creator. He knows all what we do not know. He knows what is inside our hearts. He knows our conditions, all our situations. So our surrender shows our belief that we believe in the presence of Allah Almighty. You believe in the sayings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So right now we are having a short break. We'll be right back after a short break.